Hello and welcome to today's edition of Animal Nutrition. We already started on minerals and we've looked at macronutrients, macrominerals, and we've considered a number of them, which was calcium and the others. And then into micronutrients. Micronutrients are required in very small quantity to have a very significant effect, and we already are in manganese being a micronutrient, one very fantastically important one, though required in small quantity but of very big importance. Now, in the process of this, we looked at the historical perspective and then the sources of it, especially being from leafy vegetables, nuts, legumes, cereals, and grains. In the previous video just concluded, we considered the absorption. Now, while we talk about absorption, we take it stepwisely. When something is ingested, now first, what's the source of this? This is the source. When you get it from the source, you'd cook or you ingest. When you ingest, digestion occurs. After digestion is absorption, which primarily occurs in the small intestine. After nutrients are absorbed, what's next? That is metabolism. And metabolism, two parts broadly. It's either you're building or you're bringing down. More often than not, there's usually the breaking down first and then the building to form what the body needs. For example, if I take a proteinous food, let's say meat, the body will first digest it. That is catabolic process of breaking it down into components, component amino acid, and then a building again of the different components to different amino acids, which would be determined by what the brain wants. Different parts of the body, this is what is required at a time. So that is catabolism, breaking down, and then anabolism, breaking it up. These two processes, anabolism, catabolism, are in the process of the two main processes of metabolism. Now, when we talk about minerals, in which case manganese is one, it's not so much as to breaking down and building up as when you have, except for what you have in protein, carbohydrates, and fats and oil. We're not breaking down, and it's not just like you're building up again. After the absorption is talking about, we're going to be looking at more of the transportation of it. So you may consider transportation of manganese more than saying metabolism. But why I'm looking at metabolism is because I've maintained this pattern of history, sources, absorption, metabolism, function, and deficiency symptoms. So you may like put it as transportation, right? Now you may call it transportation of it. Now what happens, you may call it transportation if you like. Now this is what happens usually. Now when manganese, please don't get it twisted, don't get it mixed up. When manganese is absorbed, what happens? It actually binds with a protein in the body called transferrin. Like what certain proteins, for example, it binds with certain proteins like transferrin, albumin, and alpha-2 macroglobulin. From the name you see transferrin, it binds it and moves it, transfers it to different parts of the body. Now, you know what albumin is. It's a very important blood protein, globulin, also a blood protein. But let's see some key factors, some key points about the metabolism or transportation of manganese. The bound manganese is actually now taken up by the liver. The liver is a very crucial structure in the body that does emulsification of fat, digestion of fats and storage, detoxification, so many, the list is almost endless, the function of liver. Now, This transporting of it and taking it up of manganese by this plays a very central role in the controlling of the level of manganese in the blood. In other words, the liver is a kind of a storage part or place for manganese in the body. Now, why do you store things? You store things so that in cases where you have a deficiency or low level, you release. So that is one of the functions of it. Now, another key part about this metabolism, or say transportation of manganese, is that manganese is now therefore distributed to other parts of the body where they are needed. For example, distributed to the bones to form a structural component of the bones, part of the structural component. Now, don't mix it with magnesium. Magnesium is a major component. Manganese, this one, is more like a supportive component of it. It's also transported to the kidneys. This is the center for ultrafiltration in the blood in the body, and also to the pancreas and to the brain. Now notice that excess manganese will be excreted into the bile acid or into the bile and then excreted as feces in feces. Although urine gets a little manganese gets to be excreted in only very small, let me put it this way, small quantity of manganese is excreted in urine. A larger portion that is excreted is actually through feces. A larger portion of manganese that is excreted is usually through feces. A smaller quantity is through urine. Now, why do we talk about excretion? It is actually in cases where there's an excess need. You stored and the fat is coming so much, let's excrete. So, if this is true, that means by the time we come to deficiency, you'll come to realize that there may not be much deficiency symptoms of manganese. That does not mean they are not there. So, in most cases, having seen that excess of it is excreted this, and very little is excreted by this, the whole essence is about control and regulation of certain nutrients in the body, because there's always supposed to be a balance to maintain homeostasis. A balance between a certain range of this to this, a quantity of this to this in the body to make the body balance. Beyond a certain range is the red light. I want you to staying with me for the next class where we'll be having the functions of manganese. In this, you'd have very important functions, in which case we'll talk some of them here. We're going to see them more elaborately talked about. I want you to be in to check the next video. Thank you so much. The previous video, please watch so you get to know how we started from the historical perspective and sources and absorption. Before this category of videos, I've done videos on diseases that affect animals. You want to go back to them. Thank you so much for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. I want you to even do more. Thank you so much. Let's meet again in the next video. Bye for now.